Hi, Stephen. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm well. That is a lovely background. I feel like you've put in the work for that background. It's good.
Yes, I'm rather ostentatiously showing off some of my awards.
It's
Yeah, it's vulgar. I'm aware of that.
It's working. It's working. I'm impressed. This is such a darling movie. What was your favorite part of just joining this film and being part of kind of an all new Christmas movie?
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I love a Christmas movie, and I feel like there haven't been as many sort of family classic Christmas movies in recent years as you might think. I mean, the last one I could remember that really spoke to me was Elf, which I loved. And I can't remember, I'm sure there have been, I just don't remember the ones that have really got under my skin. And I like the idea of being part of a sort of Christmas film, one that I can watch with my young niece and nephew this Christmas, but also one that gets hopefully into people's hearts and then gets screened every year on TV, and therefore I get paid every year.
Right? Yeah. I honestly, I think this one's going to stick. It definitely has that feel of just kind of this timelessness about it.
Well, I think that the timelessness is the story, which again, I was surprised that there hadn't already been the origin story of Santa Claus, which you assume you've seen before, but actually you haven't, as far as I can tell. And that, I thought, sort of gave it an immediate classic quality. You know, it felt like a classic fairy tale.
So you play this mouse named Mika, adorable. How does one prep to play a mouse? What goes into that?
You've already hit the nail on the head. I have so many things in common with mice. I'm adorable, like you just mentioned. I love cheese. I don't like cats. I'm very nervous around cats. I like them as, in theory, I just get very jumpy around them. When I was working on the original UK version of The Office with Ricky Gervais, he had a cat that every time I'd go around to his house to write, it for some reason would always jump onto my lap with its talons out and just give me. Every time I went to his house, it was like it just was waiting for me, like it had been practicing. And Ricky would just laugh. And so ever since then, I've been very, very nervous around cats. So I like to think that gets me into the headspace of how a mouse would think.
They're unpredictable. You don't know what's about to happen to you at any time. And how did you decide on Mika's voice? Did you go through like kind of different phases of things you maybe wanted to do, and how did you land on what you did?
Well, the thing that I liked about in the script was that the character put me in mind of the old great late Bob Hope, the comedian and actor who, when I was growing up, I'd watch his movies, and he had that wonderful sort of characterization of like a nervous, smart aleck who was always trying to, like, he always had a quick one-liner, but he was kind of a coward, and he didn't want, to get into, to the scrapes, but he was sort of forced into them. And I loved that character. That's such a great persona, and I've always wanted to sort of do that, and I've kind of done it in little bits here and there. But this felt like I could kind of encapsulate that in the voice of a mouse. And also because young people don't really remember Bob Hope, I can just basically steal his act, and no one will have noticed.
Matt Haig, who wrote the book A Boy Called Christmas, said he wrote it as a way to cheer himself up, which I thought was really sweet. But it made me wonder, how do you cheer yourself up? What are your comfort movies and activities that you like to do to cheer yourself up?
How do I cheer myself up? Well, I do find movies one of the things which, I fell in love with them at a young age, in part because my dad was a big movie buff and we would watch movies on TV or go to the theater. And I fell in love with it then. And that magic has never gone away from me. And I find, I had a spare room in my house here, which I've managed to turn into a kind of little movie theater. And so I get to watch them on the big screen at home. And I love that. I love the fact you can lose yourself in another world for a couple of hours. And so many happy memories I have associated with movies, getting excited about seeing movies, talking about them with friends afterwards. I love that. And so I also find actually writing, like Matt, writing films or TV, it's similarly cheery. It's exciting. There's something about being able to control the world when you're writing. You can make anything happen. And that's very sort of appealing for me. So I love it both as a maker and a consumer of movies and TV.